Thank you for staying with us. We have two stories for you on our crime report. For the first one, we're asking for the public's help. David?
You're right, Deidre. We've heard of this type of thing happening before, and we hope that by covering this local incident, it will help encourage parents to talk to the young drivers about what to do in these situations. It's a very unusual situation, too. The incident happened on Kings Highway on Cason Road on July 14th at 12:20 p.m. That's in the afternoon. A female subject reported being pulled over by an individual impersonating a law enforcement officer. By the way, that's very much against the law. She told deputies she was traveling on Kings Highway when she was pulled over by a white vehicle with a long antenna and emergency lights. A male subject wearing tan clothing, a hat, and aviator sunglasses exited the vehicle. The driver sensed something was not right and refused to roll down her window without seeing the subject's identification. The unknown subject then ran back to his vehicle and sped away in the direction of King George. The incident remains under investigation. Anyone with information regarding the incident is asked to contact the Stafford County Sheriff's Office at 540-658-4400. And remember, if you feel uncomfortable about giving your name, you don't have to. Just give them a call and let them know what you know.
In a news release, the Stafford County Sheriff's Office reports that a suspect was arrested on Sunday night following a domestic disturbance at a local hotel that occurred shortly after a felony hit-and-run incident. On July 14th at approximately 9:10 p.m., Deputy Albrecht responded to a felony hit-and-run in the area of the Wawa located at 105 Garrisonville Road. Upon arrival, he found a vehicle with heavy rear bumper damage off the road just prior to the I-95 southbound ramp. The driver explained that she observed a dark sedan strike a vehicle in the area of Stafford Marketplace. The suspect then rear-ended her vehicle and fled the scene. An eyewitness was able to provide a description of the suspect's vehicle. In the meantime, at approximately 9:26 p.m., Deputy Conley responded to a report to a domestic disturbance at the Staybridge Suites located at 2996 Jefferson Davis Highway. The hotel employee explained that her boyfriend, Silvana Avalar Castro, age 20 of Stafford, was not allowed at the hotel, but when he was asked to leave, he began to argue and slapped her in the back of the head. After a brief struggle, he was taken into custody. Continuing his investigation, Deputy Albrecht followed up on a report that the vehicle matching the description of the one involved in the hit and run was parked at the hotel. The key to the vehicle was found on Castro's person, linking him to the incident. Castro was arrested and charged with felony hit and run, driving under the influence, driving with a suspended license, reckless driving, underage possession of alcohol, destruction of property, disorderly conduct, assault on a law enforcement officer, assault and battery, resisting arrest, trespassing, and public intoxication. He's incarcerated at the Rappahannock Regional Jail without bond.
And I think he'll be staying at a location at state expense for quite some time. Well, let's take a break and head over to George for sports. Anything new in the world of sports, George?
Thanks, guys. George Kerns here for CVTV Sports. The women's soccer team wins their 4th World Cup by beating Netherlands 2-0. Megan Rapinoe recorded her 6th goal, tied with teammate Alex Morgan and England's Ellen White for the tournament lead on a penalty kick in the 61st minute. Rose Lavelle, a breakout star from the Washington Spirit, scored a terrific goal in the 69th minute as the United States completed the tournament with 7 victories in 7 matches. Megan Rapinoe won the Golden Ball as the tournament's top player. "I am made for this. I love it," she said. USA won the World Cup in 99, 91, and 2015, and Olympic gold medals in 96, 2004, 2008, and 2012. Germany is the only other country to win multiple World Cups. The Americans have won 13 straight matches and are unbeaten in 16 since losing a friendly game at France in January. The Netherlands was physical and unafraid. The United States failed to score in the first 12 minutes. Nevertheless, the United States rallied in the second half to score twice to win. Congratulations to the Team USA for winning its 4th World Cup. They also picked up another piece of hardware by winning Best National Team at the awards show, the ESPYs. Here at CVTV Sports, we thank all Team USA members for a wonderful tournament and win. In NBA news, Kawhi Leonard for the Toronto Raptors has signed with the Los Angeles Clippers in a deal worth $103 million over 3 years. He also recruited Kevin Durant, but he turned Kawhi down, so he recruited Paul George from the Oklahoma City Thunder. Then the LA Lakers got more people on their roster with signing Danny Green, DeMarcus Cousins, and Rajon Rondo. The Miami Heat has expressed interest in Russell Westbrook of the Oklahoma City Thunder, and the Washington Wizards have traded Dwight Howard to Memphis, and the Wizards get three-point specialist C.J. Miles. In MLB news, the All-Star Game was in Cleveland this week, and the American League beat the National League team again 4-3 for the 7th straight time. The AL starter Cleveland Indians ace Shane Bieber was named the MVP. There was only 2 home runs, 23 strikeouts, and 16 by the American League staff. There was only 5 hits in the game. You don't see many baseball games played like this anymore. New York Mets rookie Pete Alonso won the home run derby by beating Vladimir Guerrero Jr. in a slugfest. Alonso somehow had enough to edge Guerrero, who hit 91 home runs but ran out of gas in the last round. Alonso needed 23 homers to beat Guerrero, and he did just that by hitting a homer to left center, then flipped his bat in the air and hugged his pitcher, cousin Derek Morgan, and then he was swarmed by his National League All-Star teammates. Alonso is the second rookie to win, following Aaron Judge in 2017. He is the first Mets winner to win the Derby outright. Alonso has hit 30 home runs thus far this season. The Nationals are in second place in the NL East, 6 games back. In boxing news, Manny Pacquiao has a fight coming up Saturday night, July 20th against Keith Thurman. Well, that's all the time I have for sports. I'm George Kerns for CVTV Sports. Back to you guys.
Well, thanks for the update, George. This statistic came as something of a shock to me, but apparently a majority of those alive today were born after mankind landed on the moon. It's been just that long. In something that would have seemed unbelievable when I was a little boy, we now live in a society where humanity's first visit to an extraterrestrial body has long since been a part of the history books. However, that wasn't always the case. In July 1969, Apollo's mission, sending a man to the moon and returning him safely, seemed like it would be the ultimate human achievement. That was 50 years ago. That is, if we could eventually do it. Nothing about this great endeavor was certain. It was daring, it was bold, and it was dangerous. Would the most complicated machine ever designed by humans work as planned? I still remember 50 years ago this Saturday, age 11, sitting with my grandfather and grandmother, both born before 1900, along with my dad, watching the coverage of the Apollo landing. No one in our normally chatty little group said a word as we listened to the transmission from the lunar excursion module as it got closer and closer to the moon. Then, with a pause, the transmissions from the LEM, the lunar excursion module, ceased. And for a moment or two, there was just a pause, at which point Neil Armstrong, the spaceman from Ohio, with his typical unflappable manner, made that historic transmission. Tranquility Base here, the Eagle has landed. We had arrived on the moon. A few hours later, Armstrong, in perhaps the most famous footstep in history, became the first man on the moon. It's a staggering feat. It deserves to be remembered and celebrated. But there is one thing. Since 1972, the last Apollo mission, no human has ventured into deep space. And I'm often left wondering why. We have done wonders with our interplanetary probes. Our rovers have explored the surface of Mars. We have tested new propulsion systems. We have vastly expanded our skills in materials development and computing. We built the International Space Station and discovered thousands of planets orbiting around other stars. But still, we haven't ventured more than a few hundred miles into space. So perhaps this 50th anniversary of the Apollo moon landing, as new technologies start to converge, along with a growing passion to see what's out there, we should recommit ourselves to putting humans back into space. The moon still has its secrets, and Mars, beckoning us since ancient times, awaits. The men and women who first put humans on the moon a half-century ago thought that life in space was our eventual destiny. They were right. It still is.
Well, that's all we have for you today. Thank you for bringing us into your home and making us your choice in local news. We'll see you next time.